Yo, welcome back. This is Stu42 with another Minecraft episode. Today, what are we doing? We are continuing with Tier 3 questline stuff. There's a couple of things that I've noticed. We've recently upgraded to 2025 for the New Horizons pack. And this has introduced a couple of changes. So one of the interesting changes is the tool forge. The quest still says to give you dense aluminium plates, which of course needs the MV, oh, that didn't work very well, which needs the MV bending machine, 96 EU per tick. But when you go to the next step now, the tool forge is no longer needs those. It now needs alumite large plates, which is actually significantly easier to make. In fact, we could have made it at the LV age. So they've made that a little bit easier, but haven't fixed up the quest yet. The other one that I think has changed, but I can't quite be sure, is that this quest here asks you to make the advanced cutting machine and to make the wafers, but this wafer can now be cut in the LV machine, and I actually have made another couple of silicon balls. You might have noticed I've completed that part of the quest already, and that is because I have already cut one of these to make sure it works. So that works, and that sort of leads to these quests at the top. Now, I can't really get much further with this because the transistor needs these two, which is pretty easy, but then the transistor, the only way to make it is with polyethylene, and of course we haven't done polyethylene yet. So that sort of forced me, like I was deciding whether to go up the top or down here, and it's forced me to go down here basically to the ethylene line of quests and potentially 91 oxygen cells. Wow, okay, so I should be able to get that pretty easily since I've got a bunch of oxygen in a tank, and the ethylene here, we need 4 ethylene cells. So to make ethylene, this is what I'm going to do today. We'll do the ethylene and the polyethylene chain of quests. So we can make ethylene out of ethanol and sulfuric acid in a chemical reactor, or by distilling gases like wood gas. So we can crack naphtha, fuels and gas, or hydrogen with hydrogen or steam in the chemical reactor as well. So I'm not quite sure which way. I was thinking wood gas, but given the returns on it are really, really low, and it will tie up the pyrolyzed oven that we've just made, I don't really want to do it that way. Ethanol maybe. So let's just look at ethylene. Which one do we want? Is there one that's just the ethylene? Ethylene, maybe that one. No, that's looking at the fuel cell. So if we look at it from this side, what's that, 30677? None of those. Okay, so NEI is pretty useless for this. We have to do it from the quest. So this will give us, from the distillery, we can do this lightly hydrocracked, and I think one of these towards the end, yeah, steam cracked naphtha, which we've got some of. There we go, severely steam cracked light fuel. It was probably a really good one for us to do. And we get 250 ethylene for a litre of that. And of course, steam cracked light fuel is, yeah, a bunch of steam, bunch of light fuel. Not too hard there because we've got our light fuel over here. So we might try and pipe off some of the light fuel. And over here, we do have some LV stuff over here already, so we might get some of that sort of stuff going. And what else do we need? So that was one way of doing it, and the other way is with ethanol and sulfuric acid. Sulfuric acid we can probably get pretty easily, but ethanol unfortunately, yeah, not yet, probably. Not yet. I think I'm liking the steam cracked way first. So what I might do is I'll go away. I think LV is probably going to be easy because I'm pretty short on aluminium at the moment. There we go. We've cut all our wafers up. So I'm pretty short on aluminium at the moment, so we might just make some LV stuff in here and to get some steam. Yeah, we're going to need another water tank to get some water over here and bits and pieces. So I'll run away, I'll make some of the bits we need, and we'll come back and hopefully steam crack some light fuel and get ourselves on the way to ethylene and polyethylene. So I'll see you back here in just a bit. So I've made a couple of things, but I've actually been doing a bit of thinking about how we're going to lay this out, because making more water, yeah, I made a tank up the top and I've got an extra water pipe down here now, but I don't think that's going to be the way to do it. I've been thinking about how to get this light fuel down to there and all sorts of stuff, and it seems to me that I've got this space right in here, if I carve out the stone, I've got steam already here, so I can just throw steam across here, throw the light fuel across there, and then we'll have the steam cracked light fuel pretty easily. We've also got fuel. There's a fuel line already coming across, so we can just run that down into a new LV generator, and that'll that. The only issue is I want this to be 3 high, and unfortunately we have that up there. So I thought I would just pop back and say that I'm gonna undertake moving this whole pyrolyzed oven up by 1 block. So we're not going to have it set down anymore. I'll bring up all the stairs and I'll set this up a bit and move everything up just so that we've got room underneath. But once I've done that and carved out a bit of space, we should be good. Actually, as you can see, I did actually expand down here as well, but you know, I just don't think that's going to be the place to put it. I think we're going to have to do our ethylene here and then potentially work our way backwards to polyethylene, and then we can use polyethylene over here in a bunch of stuff. So I'll be back in just a moment once I've carved a bit of this out and relocated this oven. See you in a sec. Alright, we have a... Ooh, we're going to get burned on the steam. We have a nice hollowed out piece here now. We've moved that up 1 slot. We do have a slight bit under here with the copper cable, but that should be fine. I'm just going to run off the solar boiler for now. I really don't think we're going to need a lot of steam. We just need some steam. It's pretty empty at the moment, but hopefully that'll come good. What we're going to do though is we will just throw some small pipes onto here. Yep, and that'll connect and run down to here somewhere. Oh, small iron ore. Cool, and so we can run yeah, here we go. So initially what I'm thinking of doing is I'm just going to grab some of the cells manually out of here. We have got a quest coming up where we're going to start getting some intelligent piping to route some of the cells around the place. So we will potentially be able to remove some of the cells from here and pipe them into both the mixer and down this way, depending on what we need. I don't know how much of this we're going to need yet. So I just figured this bit will be manual, but we'll put it over here so that at least we can automate it later if we need to. Now, over here, we are gonna need... We need to look at... Oops, it helps if I spell correctly. So, ethylene, again, is... distillery. So we were going with the distillery, and it's number 33. So we need a program circuit for 10. We're also going to have to deal with the tiny piles of carbon dust, and that gives us the ethylene. So, and then the severely cracked will be the chemical reactor. So the chemical reactor needs steam straight in, the light fuel cells, and it'll throw the light fuel outside. So let's go for chemical reactor. So we'll position these first. If we go... we kind of want to be near here. So if this comes down to here, we'll be able to put... Now, which one was it? I have already just forgotten. Distillery last. Okay, so we are going to go for the distillery and... Sorry, the chemical reactor and then the distillery. So we have... How many of those pipes have we got left? Only 2. Alright, I might need to make some more of that. Chemical reactor comes in here. Yeah, we might be able to just sit it here. Maybe... here? And then what we want to do is have the distillery right there. And then we can make this auto output the liquid, and then we can have That one auto output as well. And what we'll do is, because we've got a bunch of these spare generators from earlier, we can just throw one on each and don't need to worry about battery buffers, don't need to worry about anything. Each one of these machines uses 30 EU per tick, so I figured why bother with cabling and all that stuff. We'll just throw it right here, and that is in line with this so that I can run, that's one of the reasons I put it here, is so that I can run the fuel straight down into the top. Now I am, however, going to need to deal with more of this bronze piping. Can't run. Let's go. Oh, we still got some of that in there. Grab that. I do have 5 bronze. Start that going. And we're going to need the, I think it's the wrench on top and the hammer underneath. Quickly make some more pipe. And we're going to need a bunch of circuits as well. So one with configuration 10. Yep, small bronze pipe. Excellent. So the first one was, so we're going to need one with program circuit 10 for that one, and for the severely steam cracked we're going to need program circuit 3. So 3 I know how to do, 10 is in the top with the screwdriver there. Now let's grab, I did make another big lot of circuits. Now can I, no, I need to do that first. Configuration 10 and configuration 3. And our pipe. Now we can connect, 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 connect. Now, yay, we're getting steam in there already. Fantastic. Let's just seal that up. Cool, so we got a nice little steam line going there. Now, I've forgotten again which way around it needs to go. The distillery is program 10. This one is program 3. We're going to need the power. So let's just do this. Go link and link. Oh, those things are going to be warping up and down until they expire. Okay, so now we just need a bunch of light fuel. Now we have, I can steal these 2 at least from there. Oh yeah, we get some more. We can just steal these as they come through. So, the quest. What does the quest actually tell us to get? It says 4 ethylene cells. So if we put that in there, that's going to severely crack it, output the liquid, to the side. I think it's the liquid that comes out. Yep, and we get an empty cell back. Liquid goes into here. Oh, we've only got 800. Cool, so we're going to need to put a few more of these in here. And this is going to output a liquid as well. It's going to output a liquid. This is going to be annoying. So what I'm going to need to do is get another fluid canner potentially, and can stuff at the side, because this is probably, yep, just going to output ethylene. And I'm going to need a bit more of this. All right, so let me run away and produce a bit of the stuff. I'm going to need a bunch more cells. One of the things I've been meaning to do for a while is I have made some better tanks. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to put, I don't know, here's as good a place as any. And I've got all of these hydrogen sulfide cells, but I can literally put a stack of the cells into a tank and reclaim all the cells. Amazing, cool. So that'll at least help with that for now. We will use that eventually. Actually, do I have a fluid canner in here? Energy hatch, no, I do not. No, I do not. All right, let me make another couple of things. I'll need to make another fluid canner to put over here, just to grab these ethylene cans for the quest, and then we will, yeah, and I'll make the rest of the ethylene as well. So I'll be back here in just a sec. So I was right, we aren't using a lot of steam at all, so that's keeping up just fine. We now have ourselves our basic fluid canner, which I am going to power, because this is only temporary. It just needs a battery buffer for this one. Run across here and grab, yeah, let's grab a couple of lithiums. Because ultimately, once we've done the quest, we are really, you know, not going to care too much. Cool, so let's dump that out. We're going to need like 8 of them or 6 of them or something. 4, only 4. Awesome. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4. And this is going to run. So we're going to have to void the tiny piles of carbon dust, I think. Or, yeah, I don't know what we'll do with that. We'll take them out at some point. And now this is building up to our 4 things of ethylene. And we have quite a bit of that in there, so that's cool. We can make sure more of that is through there. Here we've got 2 in there. And that's running for some more of that. Cool. So this just needs that, and then we will see where we're at for the quest and where that leads to. So I'll just let this finish, and I'll see you back here once this is done. Okay, we have 4 there. I've managed to turn off the auto output just as we got the 4 through here. So that should be all we need. Quest complete. Excellent. Now what do I want? Oh man, biochef, empty cells, polyethylene pulp, or a loot bag. You know what, I'm going to take the cells because I'm always short on cells. And so now there's, wow, ethylene and oxygen, and this one is just 91 oxygen cells. So this is where it's going to be pretty handy for us to just be able to pick up. So I'm going to pick up the fluid canner and the battery buffer. We'll go and park it underneath my big oxygen tank over there, and we'll can up 91 oxygen cells. Just temporarily for the quest, and then I'll be back once I've done that, and hopefully once we've done 91 of those, oxygen, so we mix those, and then you make acetic acid, which is in the chemical reactor. I don't know why we need 91 of those though, that's pretty crazy. Alright, anyway, I will be back. I'll make a few more things. We'll get the oxygen done and see where we go from there. Ideally, we are wanting to head towards polyethylene because we are going to need it for up the top there. So I'm guessing somewhere off one of these branches, we'll have a polyethylene one that we're going to need to get to. So I'll see you back here in a sec. Alright, we have made ourselves another basic chemical reactor, which I am, well, not going to put there. Slightly wrong spot. I've done a couple of the other quests as well. I did the 91 or whatever it is. Let's grab that. Yes. So yeah, I did the 91 oxygen. I'm still not sure why I wanted 91 of them, but I'm going to be able to pump them back in to the thing anyway. So let's throw basic down there. Now this is going to be the final resting place for this. So we'll put another one of the generators there. We'll throw another fluid pipe on there. generate some power. This can now fluid auto output. And we have some ethylene. Cool. So in the quests, where are we up to? So we completed these two, which was the 91 oxygen cells. So I don't know what we're going to use the oxygen for, but it was to make it open this up. So we are going to need 43 and 4 for here. Again, not entirely sure why. To make the molten plastic though, we are going to make chemical reactor, yeah. So we're going to need another program circuit. So ethylene and compressed air, or ethylene and oxygen gives you a much better yield for that. So another circuit, and then that's our polyethylene basically done, which was the whole goal of this. The whole goal of this thing. So I need one of these, and it's got to be configuration 1. Now, do I have... No, I don't have it on me. So back over here is where I was bottling up the oxygen. So, awesome. We can have that in there. We've got some ethylene there. Now we should be able to throw oxygen in. And what do we get out the other side? We're going to get... Hey, we're going to get a liquid. So we need to make sure that that is outputting on that side. Get our fluid canner again. Throw it down there. Get our low voltage thing. Put that there. Throw the battery in. And then, yep, fluid auto output. Okay, so now we've got to make a bunch of this. So I will run away and do this because it's going to take a little bit of time. We're going to have to flow all of the stuff through from the other side to get to our five things of polyethylene. I also need to somehow get the ethylene back out of here. I might have to do some rigging with the fluid canner and put the fluid canner up. We'll do it later. We'll do it after this is done. Anyway, I'll be back in a moment. I'll flush some stuff through and we'll get to the end of this quest. And that might be it for this episode, but we'll see how we go once I've done this. Okay, back for one last time, I think. So what's happened along the way is the fluid canner does work, but you can't use these empty cells. You have to use the universal fluid cells instead. They're both from IC2. I don't quite know what the difference is. The graphic looks pretty much the same. Just the recipe for these ones is some tin casings and a glass pane and an assembler. Nice and easy to make. I suspect they're maybe moving from one sort of cell to the other. So in this particular version of IC2, both of them are still here. But yeah, otherwise don't know. But we get our 5 cells. Ding ding. There we go. Cool. So what do we want from that? We want empty cells, oxygen, or ethylene. You know what? More cells. Like, they're just so tin intensive otherwise. Claim that. Cool. And so now we're moving on to stuff like molten plastic. We do have a plate mold already, a basic fluid solidifier I think I already have already, and we can make some polyethylene sheets. What I'm going to do though is we are going to take out the basic fluid canner. I'm going to start storing the polyethylene. Yeah, I might expand out this way. I'll knock this out between this episode and the next one, and I'll put a tank in, just one of the little one block tanks. Maybe one of the diamond ones, and we'll store some polyethylene there because there's a few things that we're going to need it for. And along here is where I think we'll start making some of the machines that use it, like especially some of the circuit stuff, which would be really cool. But for now, I think that is a good place to end this episode. We have done what we set out to do. We've gotten to polyethylene. Admittedly, it was only those 3 quests, but we've done, I filled quite a bit of time talking as per usual. But now that we've got polyethylene up here with the transistor, when we come to do this one, yep, see the only way to make it is in an assembler. with molten polyethylene. So now we can get that sort of stuff done. So I might make a few of these sort of things between now and next time as well, and just so that we're getting starts set up over there. I really am conscious that my episodes seem to be taking longer and longer, and I'm not getting anywhere near as much done as I want to. So hopefully, I don't know, I might try and pick up the pace a little bit just to get a few things done. It'll mean I have to stop talking as much though, which is not super easy for me, to be honest. Anyway, that is all. As always, thank you very much for watching, and we'll see you next time.